We finally got more information on The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 during Nintendo's Direct, and we actually got a title for the game, so finally we can stop calling it Breath of the Wild 2. It is called The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Now, one thing that's very weird to me is that Nintendo said that one thing about the title is they couldn't reveal it earlier on because it was going to give too much information away about the actual game. Well, I still don't know anything about the game, knowing that it says Tears of the Kingdom. Really, I know nothing. Just some Tears of the Kingdom. Maybe it has something to do with, various people throughout the kingdom, maybe different lineage from the kingdom itself, and we can obviously talk about that later on. But today, I want to talk about what it is that Nintendo's hiding so desperately from this game. This is the third trailer we've gotten so far, and still really have seen nothing. But we see little pieces and parts of the world start to kind of come up, and one of the biggest things I'm trying to figure out is what is Nintendo hiding? Is Nintendo hiding something massive about this game still that they have not let go of? We know Nintendo is big at doing that, and today I want to talk about something that I think Nintendo's hiding with this game. So join me today as I dig into this game deep to find out exactly what it is that Nintendo is hiding. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and you want to stay up to date on all things The Legend of Zelda and Tears of the Kingdom, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Zelda and Nintendo in general. Thank you guys. Now let's get on to a theory of mine. Now, my goal is not to really do an analysis of every scene about this trailer because a lot of people have already covered that online and you can go yourself and look at it, and there's lots of little snippets and tidbits that people are finding every single day, so it's impossible for us to unravel everything here. But one thing that we can unravel, it seems like this story takes a lot of inspiration from the Zonai tribe. We have seen the color green play a giant role in this story, and we've seen a lot of dragon statues and, depictions of dragons within wall carvings, and even that weird dragon creature from the second trailer. So there's so much information that we can put together, and we know the story is going to take a deeper toll. I think it goes further than just Ganondorf possibly being in this game this time around. I think it might even include outside forces and stuff that we've never even seen within Zelda to date, especially this weird figure that we keep seeing at the very beginning of this brand new trailer for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. We don't know who they are and what this mysterious figure is and what their role is in this game, but it has to be pretty big. Now, I'm not here to talk about the theory of who this is and what this could actually mean for the story, but instead I want to kind of dig deep and talk about what is the big change for this game. What is it that we are going to be doing that's completely different from what we've done in the first game? Well, we know from Aonuma that the big thing is that, this game takes place in the sky. There's going to be lots of stuff in the sky to interact with, but one of my biggest problems and one of the things that I feared the most is that the ground is going to be too similar, that everything that we've explored so far among the ground is going to stay the same. Well, I had a couple theories about how they could change this world, and I'm starting to see some things actually happen within these trailers. I know these trailers have been little bits of information, but these little bits of information are starting to add up to some really big changes that I'm noticing. One of my theories definitely involved the Dark World, an alternate world that was underneath this version of Hyrule that we could explore with a different character, and obviously that being Zelda. We saw Zelda fall down in that hole, and ever since then we don't know what the heck is going on with her. We haven't seen her in another trailer yet, and we don't know if she's dead, if she's captured by somebody, but it didn't look like she died. It didn't look like anyone grabbed her. It looked like she simply fell down the hole, and I know they wouldn't have killed her off already. That wouldn't have been really a good idea, just kind of, Zelda fell down the hole. That's the end of her timeline after everything that she's been through. So there is going to be some type of main story plot tie-in as the reason why she fell in that hole, and I'm thinking she could have still fell to some type of dark world, and that's the thing that they're hiding from us. That's why we haven't seen Zelda in any type of manner so far. So I think Zelda could have a gigantic role in this game, and that's why they're hiding her so much. I think she actually has a playable role, is what some of the leaks and stuff have said in the past, is that we're going to be able to play with Zelda, and maybe we do have to play with Link on the overworld and Zelda in the underworld, and kind of help each other out in order to progress. But something else that I thought of, and maybe it doesn't include Zelda as much, is more of the sky, and let me tell you what I mean. I feel like with each of the 3 trailers that we've gotten so far, they've all been extremely short, and they haven't showed much of the world. Of course, we see lots of the locations are still the same, but one thing that I've noticed is with each trailer, we get to see a little bit more of the sky. A little bit more platforms floating up there, a little bit more of the terrain raising from the sky. The very first trailer, the only thing that we got to see was Hyrule Castle actually raising from the ground. This is the very first thing we see actually lift into the air. The rest of Hyrule looks to be exactly the same in this state, and this is likely the very beginning of the game, the opening cutscene. We can then fast forward to the second trailer, where we see Link actually skydiving from a higher point than even the Sky Islands, which shows me maybe there's different levels to these Sky Islands. Now we can't see a lot of them right now, it's just a quick glimpse of some of them, and then once again Link falling back to the main overworld again and fighting enemies back on the overworld with enemy camps and stuff within the mountains, and they don't really have a big emphasis on the sky anymore. So you could see a little bit of these Sky Islands, but not a lot. But then the third trailer really dives deep within this. The third trailer shows us so much more of these Sky Islands and shows just how high they can go. They're not all on one even plane either. There's some extremely high and some just not as high, just a little bit off of the ground. And we get to see a lot more in more places than we did the second trailer, which shows that maybe this is going to be a lot more expansive, and maybe these islands rise from the ground that we've already been on and change once they reach into the sky, which is very interesting. Maybe all of these islands in the sky are based on past areas from the past tribes of the Zonai, and they've changed once they've hit the ground, and now, after they rise back up in the ground, they go back to what they used to look like back in the Zonai days, which is very interesting. That's why none of the Sky Islands look like anything that we've seen on the ground so far. Even the trees have different colors, and we're seeing lots of shrine-like structures as well. I mean, shoot, Link starts the trailer by opening two giant doors and walking out of what may even be a brand new dungeon or temple within Breath of the Wild, which would be really cool. Of course, this is, a brand new game, even though it's a sequel, being Tears of the Kingdom. This could include temples or dungeons this time around, which is something we definitely did not have within the first game. We didn't have giant temple doors that glowed like this. This is definitely something new, which makes me think that, these land masses that are already a part of Hyrule change once they raise to the sky, and I think most of the kingdom is going to raise to the sky. Some of the areas that we know and love within the kingdom are going to look extremely different once they raise and, go through some type of altered state once they hit their specific dedicated, area within the sky. Something else that I noticed about the ground is there's a neon symbol of light on the ground on one of the rocks or mountain faces, and it depicts that weird symbol of either that woman or maybe that was Ganondorf that we saw on the wall carvings, kind of laid back and looks like it was raising from the sky. Lots of people think this could actually be Ganondorf because you can see kind of malice raising up to it underneath it during that carving depiction. So whatever it is, I am not quite sure right now, and it's not my job to really dig into this, because today I just want to talk about what this could mean for the world, and I think this could actually represent maybe this part of the ground or this landmass itself is going to rise up eventually as well and join the other continents that are floating in the sky. But what is it that I'm getting at here? Well, I think Nintendo is hiding something huge still. That's why they've never really showed us more than 15 seconds of gameplay. It's just extremely short and enough to show us some things that Link is doing and to keep us entertained until they're ready to show off the main gimmick of this game. There's a lot of stuff that they're hiding, and there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the sky, and I want to even go into more detail about what's in the sky. And there's so many more videos I want to cover on this, but I think there is going to be a massive map change by kind of just lifting pieces of the map that we already have in the sky and changing their look and appearance once they're in the sky, kind of resetting what they look like. We already know there's a reset time tool that Link can use in order to ride falling rocks back up into the sky, so I think something like that is going to happen here with the main gameplay. I think lots of the land down below is going to shift into what it used to look like back in the old days, and once it rises to the sky, it's going to look completely different, giving us a new map. Now, I'm not saying the entire map of Hyrule is going to eventually all raise up into the sky, but I think a lot of it and most of it will, and anything else that's still on the ground might have a different look after everything's already risen. So some things on the ground might change, and they're going to change once they reach in the sky, giving us two, kind of altered versions of the same map, which is really cool. I'm really excited to see exactly what they do with this. I still would love to see a Dark World with Zelda as well, but we're going to have to wait and see what's up Nintendo's sleeves. But let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Are we going to have a Dark World, or is everything just going to kind of raise in the sky and change? Or do you have another theory of your own? Let me know in the comments down below, and thank you so much for tuning in. And like always, I will see you all in the next one. See you guys.